A very good morning to you and welcome to the Idea Morning Digest here on Idea TV. My name is Cynthia Basi and I am glad that you are starting your morning with us because it's not just me. I'm not alone. Of course, I'm never alone on the show. I'm here with
Mary.
Yes, Mary. And yes, this is a place where we talk things about science. We talk about, entrepreneurship. We talk about innovation. We talk about those policies shaking the world. We talk about those initiatives shaking the world, development, research, you name them. All of those things that affect you and I or concerns you and I. This is the right place to hear them from. And yes, like we always tell you, if you like what we do here, if you have ideas, if you have opinions, if you have questions, you can send it to us at Idea Television, all our social media platforms, and of course via email at Idea TV Limited. We want to hear from you. But before that, let's take a look at the headlines we'll be bringing your way this morning. Okay, the first headline we'll be bringing your way is that federal government unveils new reforms to curb WAEC NECO exam malpractice. And TINUBU'S reforms not meant for instant gain, says Budget Office. That one is coming from the Budget Office. GOMBE bans scrap dealers, begins tenant profiling. And lastly, African trade unions condemn United States action in Venezuela. That and more is what we'll be bringing your way from the headline, the review segment, the news review segment, and later on the discussion segment. But before that, let's go on a quick break. We'll be right back. You stay with us.
.5G technology. 5G technology promises to be a game changer by delivering ultra-fast internet speeds, low latency, and the ability to connect millions of devices seamlessly. It's going to fuel the future of smart cities, autonomous vehicles, and IoT devices, allowing them to communicate in real time. However, 5G rollout isn't without hurdles. High costs of infrastructure and regulatory issues in some regions have slowed down implementation. By 2026, the 5G market is expected to be valued at $667.90 billion, with the US, China, and South Korea leading the change. The challenge? Cybersecurity risks and data privacy will remain top concerns as more devices become connected.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Idea Morning Digest, and if you are just joining us, yes, this is the Idea Morning Digest. You have not missed much. We have just started. So let's take you to the first news we have today. The federal government has announced sweeping nationwide reforms to tackle examination malpractice in WAEC and NECO, beginning with the 2026 examination cycle. The measures were outlined yesterday in a press release from the Ministry of Education as part of efforts to restore credibility and public confidence in Nigeria's public examinations. The Minister of Education, Dr. Maruf Tunji Alausa, alongside the Minister of State for Education, Professor Suwaiba Said Ahmed, said the reforms include enhanced question randomization. So each candidate writes a uniquely arranged paper and the introduction of a compulsory examination learner's identity number to improve tracking, monitoring, and accountability. The government says the changes are necessary due to persistent concerns over organized cheating, technology-driven malpractice, and certificate credibility. Authorities also announced stricter enforcement of rules against senior secondary school 3 candidates transfer and the new National Continuous Assessment Framework, describing the reforms as aligned with global best practices and Nigeria's education realities. This one is very, very interesting. I kept on saying while I was reading the news, and I think we've always wanted reforms, so that's where I'll start from. And these reforms, we've always wanted reforms. Always wanted reforms, and I think this reforms is only coming at the right. It's even long overdue, but whichever way, it is still coming at the right time. But I'm just looking at the context of this reform. I'm just looking at what exactly is changing. First of all, they say enhanced question randomization. That's where I very hard, because that means two students sitting side by side will not be answering the same questions.
Yeah.
That's just simply what it means. If Mary is answering this question, it is not the same. Mary's question one will be
the
a
same
different question one from mine, and and they'll have different sequences. And I feel like this, we have seen all of those things. We have seen them before. It's not the first time we are seeing that kind of randomization. We've seen it with ELTS. We've seen it with some other exams like SAT, that's SAT, all of these other exams. They already do those things. And also, I'm seeing that exam learners will now have identification number. Wow. I think it's also similar. JAMs, in JAM too, we have exam. I think JAM have registration numbers as well. I think that's similar to JAMs. Exactly, more like you have a BVN for bank, more like we have NIN for national identification number and all of those things. And I think having this unique digital identity to track candidates across exam schools and years, well, they know best why they brought that. And also, I'm just taking all of the new initiatives one by one. What is exactly changing? And then there's this crackdown on SS3 candidate transfer. I think that this is where I'll say there is importance, aside all of what I have just listed or what the Education Board have listed, because many miracle centers operate. Yes, they operate by moving weak students to other special centers, and not just weak students. Let's just put it this way, because of we are on TV, but it's not just weak students. We know these things. We know what is happening in Nigeria. I mean, students go to other schools. You hear special centers, miracle centers, and whatnot. Before months of exam, register with these schools so that they can be able to pass. Especially WAEC, English and mathematics. Those are the two, troubling subjects that makes people run to other schools. And then they say there will be this national continuous assessment framework, meaning your final results won't depend only on one exam day. And now, I think the honest conversations Nigerians must have here is that these reforms acknowledges a lot of truth. Yes, I feel so. We are Nigerians, and these things are things we know about. Who doesn't know that miracle centers exist? Who doesn't know? Who doesn't know that some of us have even brought suggestions or ideas like, okay, should it be done this way instead, so that to curb cheating and all of those things. But then these are truths that we rarely talk about. These are things we rarely agree to, we rarely come to terms with, because exam malpractice in Nigeria it doesn't happen by chance. It's not accidental. It is something that is organized. It is coordinated these days, very coordinated, and it is commercialized and sometimes institutionalized. Because when I say commercialized, you see parents that will go and say, pay. Even the school will even tell them exactly, and pay for their child to pass exams. You don't even care if your child read or not, or do not read. And sometimes we know that we blame it back to all blames goes back to the system, because you hear parents come out. Exactly, you hear parents come out and say, my child knows what they are doing, but they still failed, so you just have to go and pay. You see parents, they'll pay. And some of these schools too, we advertise it. They'll advertise 100% pass rate for you. If you come to this school, you will do this. And all of these schools, you see them too, they are cooperating with invigilators. When they are going like this, they give them yam. I'm not talking from experience. I'm just saying. And then the use of technology too, you see, they'll give you phone, take, the answers are there, and all of those things. So you see people buying exam questions before the day and get it solved, and you pay for all of these things. So I feel like, yes, to what the Education Board have come out with, because technology can help, but let's be honest, if all of these corruptions are not,